Let's see some example of one-to-one function. A function is one-to-one if each element in the codomain has a unique pre-image, meaning no two values map to the same result. So here you can see that domain set contain elements AEIO, which is mapped with unique values of the codomain. That is, A is mapped with 1, E is mapped with 4, I is mapped with 5, and O is mapped with 2. So every input having some distinct unique values from the codomain set. This is one-to-one function. There is no issue if any one element from the codomain is not mapped. A function that is not one-to-one, in this case we can see that two input of domain set is mapped with same value from the codomain set. It is a function, but it is not a one-to-one function because it not having a distinct unique output values for these two inputs. Then more on one-to-one function. Injective is synonymous with the one-to-one, means injective function is similar to the one-to-one, means one-to-one function can be called as injective function. A function is an injection if it is one-to-one. So here note that there can be unused elements in the codomain set, previously also we seen, but all inputs are mapped with unique values of the codomain set. That is, A is mapped with 1, E is mapped with 4, I is mapped with 5, and O is mapped with 2. One-to-one function. Onto function. The function is onto if each element in the codomain is an image of some pre-image. That is, meaning all elements in the right are mapped to, means all the elements from the codomain set should be occupied or mapped, then it is called as a onto function. So here you can see that A is mapped with 1, E is mapped with 4, I and O is mapped with 2, and U is mapped with 3. So it is not one-to-one, but it is onto, as all the elements of the codomain set is mapped. In this second example, a function that is not onto. So here you can see that 3 and 4 is not mapped. So two elements in the codomain set is not mapped with any element from the set 1, that is input set. So it is not a onto function. Now more on onto. Surjective is synonymous with the onto, means a onto function is also called as surjective. This function is an surjection if it is onto. Note that there can be multiply used elements in the codomain, means codomain element can be mapped to the multiple elements of the domain set, but still it is a onto function as all elements are occupied. Onto versus one-to-one. You have just see some example and try to find out whether it is onto one-to-one function. Are the following function onto one-to-one, both or neither? So in this example you can see that each element of the input is mapped and it having a unique output. Unique values from the codomain set is mapped with the input. A is mapped with 3, B is mapped with 4, C is mapped with 1. So it is basically one-to-one function, but it is not an onto function as one value from the codomain set is not mapped. So it is only the one-to-one, not onto. Second example, if you see each input, in this case A and D having a same output or same value is mapped with the A and D from the codomain set. So it is not one-to-one function, but each value of the codomain set is occupied, so it is onto function. So it is not one-to-one, but it is onto function. Next example, in this case each input value from the domain set is mapped with the unique value from the codomain set, so it is one-to-one function, and each and every value from the codomain set is mapped, so it is onto also, so it is one-to-one, is both one-to-one and onto function. Next example, in this case one value from the codomain set is not mapped, so it is not onto function. Here A and C having the same map with the same value from the codomain set, so it is not one-to-one, so it is not one-to-one and not onto function, neither one-to-one nor onto function. Next example, in this case it is not a function as A is assigned map with the two values from the codomain set, so it disqualifies the condition of the function, so it is not a function, not a valid function. Bijection, function which having both one-to-one and onto is called as a bijective function. So consider a function that is both one-to-one and onto. So this is the example. So here you can see that each input from the domain set having a unique output value from the codomain set, and again all the values from the codomain set are occupied, so it is onto also and one-to-one also. Such a function is one-to-one correspondence or a bijection function. Next term is identity function. A function such that image and the pre-image are always equal, means when we are giving the input to the function, it giving the output which is also similar to the input. In that case, that function is called as a identity function. Means set of domain and range is the same or equivalent. In that case, it is called as identity function. So see some example of these types of function. Fx is equal to 1 into x, means multiplying 1 with any value, or adding x with any value, means x plus 0, it will give the same value as output. So these functions are identity functions. The domain and codomain must be the same set. So